You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Sell the team, trade Harper, trade Bohm, just cut Bryson Stott. Just cut him. Just cut Bryson Stott. That's all you gotta do. Maybe move the team, you know what I'm saying? Maybe move to, Oklahoma or something. I don't know, but I'm just sick and tired of this Phillies team not being able to win in Colorado in this series, except for the fact they came back and they won. Oh, they're still the best team in baseball. There's still 6 games in first place. You know what I'm saying? Don't sell the team. Let's not overreact, okay? Clearly not the best game, but still one hell of a baseball team that we get to watch here in Philadelphia. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you smash the subscribe button as you're watching Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Locked On Sports Philadelphia and this Philadelphia Phillies postcast. Phillies, unfortunately, take a rough one. Really, really, really bad start for Ranger Suarez. Really reminded me of Aaron Nola struggling through the first couple of innings of yesterday's game. And then, you know what he did? He did what Ranger Suarez did, what Aaron Nola did, which was find his way somehow, and was able to help the Phillies to at least 6 innings of work to spare the bullpen a couple of innings. Settled in there in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings to make sure that he got 1, 2, 3 innings repeatedly. Orion Kerkering came in to help the cause there later. But bottom line was Ranger Suarez came up with, 5 walks in this game? Very un-Ranger-like. We will dissect it all from Ranger Suarez's start, as well as, good gracious, the lineup today. No big inning for this Phillies lineup. At least last night we had to wait until the 9th inning. This time around, nope. Not one. Not one big inning. Phillies cost themselves in a couple of different scenarios. But before we go any further, I do have to tell you that this episode is brought to you by the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. That's $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply on the Game Time app. Let's start it off with 3 big things, ladies and gentlemen. Ranger Suarez, first and foremost. I don't know what the problem was. Obviously, it was location. I don't know if it was the atmosphere in Colorado being a mile high, whatever the case might be. He was having issues. And again, similar to the way that you saw issues there from Aaron Nola. But you saw how things started out for Ranger Suarez in that first inning. First off, Phillies don't get him any runs in the first inning, and that's fine. You know, sometimes you're not going to score in the first inning, even though the Phillies have been the best team in baseball at scoring in the first inning. But then you go into the bottom of the first inning. 32 pitches in total thrown, and by the time it was all said and done, the Phillies were trailing 2-0. Not an insurmountable lead by any means, but certainly at least concerns about Ranger Suarez. 3-2 pitch to Tovar. He ends up getting him to strike out. Then he ends up seeing Rogers. Rogers gets a single off in the right field. McMahon belts. He jumps on a first pitch sinker up in the zone, and that ball just carries and carries and carries and carries over the right field wall to make it a 2-0 lead in favor of the Rockies. Now, unfortunately, still a lot of pitches after this for Ranger Suarez. He was able to get Diaz to strike out there on a 2-2 high fastball. Then he gets Bryant to line out to center field. Rojas comes up and makes that incredible diving play in center. And they're all right, 2-0 game. Defense is there to help him out. You know, you're going to have rough starts every once in a while for Ranger Suarez. You're going to have rough starts every once in a blue moon. It would keep going. After another 1-2-3 inning in the top of the second inning by your Phillies offense, bottom of the second inning rolls around, and this is where you started to really have concerns because you lost the strike zone in this second inning, and that ended up being a 3-run inning for the Rockies. He starts things off by again going to another full count. And he misses on a low slider that Doyle takes, so you have a leadoff walk. And as they said many times, old Richie Ashburn back in the day, oh, that'll come back to hurt you. That was more Harry Callis. I'm sorry. That'll come back to hurt you. That was more of Whitey. So he starts the leadoff walk. 3-2 pitch, misses low with the slider. He doesn't chase it, so he's on base. Then Bouchard goes out there, and he ends up flying out to left field. Montero, he works a walk on 5 pitches. Again, Ranger Suarez doesn't have the strike zone. Goodman goes up there, gets the RBI double to right field. Tovar works another walk. So now, in just this inning alone, you've got 3 walks by Ranger Suarez, and we're not even out of the second inning yet. Problems? Problems. Bases loaded, 1-out situation. Rogers gets that ground ball to Alec Bohm. Bohm Couldn't make a clean play on it. If he would have made a clean play, you probably get the double play and no more runs score in the inning. Bohm tries to put a glove on it. It hits the palm of the mitt, not the heel of the mitt, not the fingers, the palm of the mitt, and bounces right out. How he wasn't able to corral that ball, I don't know. He steps on third base. He gets the one out, fires across the field, pulls Harper off the bag. They're only able to get one out. Unfortunately, Bohm gets charged with the throwing error. Another run scores on it. So now all of a sudden you got 3 runs across the plate. Goodman on the RBI double, and then Rogers and his at bat ends up getting 2 runs to score on what should have been an inning-ending double play. But Ranger Suarez allowed the damage, and he allowed another walk in that inning as well on a 10-pitch at bat to McMahon, who won that at bat by working that walk, the 4th walk of the inning. Diaz goes up there and he grounds out to Bryson Stott at the end of the inning. But again, the damage was done through the first 2 innings. 5 runs scored. All Rockies runs today scored in the first 2 innings. After that, Ranger Suarez was the guy that we had seen many times this year. 1, 2, 3, 3rd inning. 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. 1, 2, 3, 5th inning. Are you sensing a pattern? And he goes out there in the 6th inning, and he ends up retiring a total of 13 straight batters. I don't know what he's going to say after the game, but maybe he's just not used to pitching in Colorado. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses for the guy, but obviously struggled to locate the zone. And I didn't think Vic Carapazzo behind the plate was doing anything like crazy. Yeah, there was a couple of missed pitches, but nothing that I would find egregious. One of the better umpiring performances we have certainly seen in this series. This was all on Ranger. Ranger just couldn't find his way in the first 2 innings, and then once he found his way, he was great. He was the Ranger that we had seen all season long. So Ranger Suarez is the number one big thing. The first 2 innings, just rough start, couldn't rebound from it for the rest of the team. And the number one reason they couldn't rebound it for the rest of the team, other than the fact that it was 5 runs, was you had no offense in this game. Kyle Schwarber, at least he worked, at least he had did he have a single or a walk in this game? I might have this. I want to make sure I have this right. No, he worked a walk. Okay. So Schwarber, Harper, Stott, Castellanos. Those 4 hitters combined to go 0 for 15 today. That can't happen. Alec Bohm had 1 hit. I mentioned Kyle Schwarber worked a walk. JT Realmuto had a lucky single off Mears there to extend his hitting streak to 15 games. A new Phillies catcher record, which is still insane. But those batters right there, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Bryson Stott, and Nick Castellanos combined to go 0 for 15 in the ballgame. With those guys not hitting, with those guys not moving runners, with those guys not even getting on base, you're not going to win many games. You need someone like Edmundo Sosa to start hitting the cover off the ball in that particular game. Sosa's been great. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying you've been able to afford other instances with this Phillies team where the big name guys have gone ice cold, but thanks to Garrett Stubbs putting a charge in the Phillies like he did yesterday, or Edmundo Sosa hitting the cover off the baseball, or Cody Clemens coming up with a big hit. Those under-the-radar guys have been overperforming, overachieving in the first 2+ months of the season. That's why, again, and I've said it many times, that's why you're not just having a great start to the season. You're having the best start to the season, more so than any team in Major League Baseball, because those glue guys, those chemistry guys, those under-the-radar guys are overachieving to the nth degree. If those guys aren't going to come up with the big hits in games, then you need Bryce Harper to hit a 3-run home run. You need a guy like Nick Castellanos to go up there and be red, scorching hot at the plate, which we've really yet to see. We saw for like a 2-week span, and that was over. And then Kyle Schwarber needs to get hot. Fortunately, June is just around the corner for Kyle Schwarber, who is somehow, I don't know how, but turned into a slap hitter all of a sudden at the plate. A singles galore guy. Okay, fine. But if he's going to be doing that, he's going to be getting on base at a 354 on base percentage, then some guys better be bringing him in. Wasn't the case today. The only times the Phillies were actually able to get some runs going for themselves. In the 4th inning, Alec Bohm got a single to right field. That brought in Kyle Schwarber after he worked his walk. Bryce Harper was also able to get on base earlier in that game on a fielder's choice. And That helped you get 1 run. And then after that, the Phillies were able to get 1 more run following in the 5th inning when Johan Rojas stepped up and got you an RBI single. When Johan Rojas got an RBI single, that's the best I felt about the Phillies actually coming back to win this game. It was only the 5th inning. It's a 3-run ball game. We've seen the Phillies explode, and it just never happened, unfortunately. So Rojas actually, number 3, I'm looking for anything to get Johan Rojas going. So number 1, Ranger Suarez. Number 2, 0 for 15 when you talk about some of the biggest names in this lineup, the biggest names in this lineup. And then Johan Rojas. I'm rooting for Johan Rojas. I know a lot of people are looking at him being like, send him down to the minors once Trey Turner's healthy, keep Cody Clemens up here, whatever the case may be. Well, Trey Turner has just unfortunately suffered a bit of a setback, so a little bit more of a question as to when you're going to be seeing him actually play again. So they don't have to make a decision right now, but we'll see. When it comes to a guy like Johan Rojas, when the season started, you were kind of under the impression given to you by the Phillies that they were just going to give him a sink or swim season, similar to what they did with Bryson Stott during his rookie year. Hey, you're up here, and that's it. We're not sending you down. You got to really be terrible, god awful, like bat 100 for us to send you down. It started to cross my mind a little bit yesterday, and I did mention it when I talked about Johan Rojas and how much longer we can expect him to go through some struggles that he's going through right now, or should I say go through the struggles he had been going through this year. Started to figure out a little bit more at the plate, and then all of a sudden his fielding had started to go awry. What? I feel really good for Johan Rojas today. If there's anything other than Ranger Suarez figuring it out through the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, for the future of the ball club, I felt better about Johan Rojas. And I felt great about him making that big play in the 1st inning to really steal a ball that would have gone into the gap, possibly extra bases. And then for him to also step up there and get that RBI single for himself there in the 5th inning to get another run for the Phils. But all in all, it just wasn't enough. And I know the cliches are out there and the cliches are bountiful and plentiful when it comes to, well, you're not going to win them all. I understand that. But the Phillies riding this 15-series streak of not losing a series since their 2nd series of the season against the Cincinnati Reds, which is fun to say. That's April 1st to the 3rd. They hadn't lost a series since then. This team just kept on finding ways to win. Today, they couldn't, unfortunately, get over the hump. When we come back, we'll take a look at what the Phillies did in those couple of the innings that we can look at here where I thought they'd get a little bit more damage, where there was some more damage to be done, and unfortunately, they just couldn't do it. We'll be back in a second. You are Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Locked On Sports Philadelphia's Philadelphia Phillies postcast. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe. We appreciate all the support you guys have been giving us in the recent future here with this brand new channel, so we appreciate that. We'll be back in a few right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia, this Phillies postcast. Oh, the Game Time app. You guys have heard us talking about it plenty of times. It's the absolute best. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer you get to first pitch, so you can save yourself some money. They also have killer last-minute ticket deals. They have all-in pricing, so there's no surprises at the end, and you can view your seat before you buy it. And how about this? The lowest price guarantee. Now, what's the lowest price guarantee? And I'll tell you what it is. It's the Game Time guarantee. That means if you find tickets in the same section and row for less money elsewhere, Game Time will get you back at 110% of the difference. That's right. They will credit your account 110% of the difference on the Game Time app. That's why you got to download the Game Time app to your phone. You got to use promo code LOCKEDONMLB, and you get $20 off your first tickets. Your first purchase, excuse me. Flash ticket deals, zone ticket deals, the all-in pricing that I mentioned, the seat view tickets that you can look at, the lowest price guaranteed, and Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So what are you waiting for? Download the Game Time app to your phone. Create an account. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Use the redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Before we go any further, I do want to take a look at our chat and see how everybody is coping with this Phillies loss. I know we don't know what to feel when the Phillies lose a series, but we'll get through it together. This much I promise you. Hello, everyone. Well, hello, IBH. Thank you. IBH must be high evolution or jet lag. Phooey. IBH. Not enough phooey in the world. I like that. Go Sixers. Thank God we're leaving damn Coors Field. I concur with that. Just glad we didn't get swept. I never feel comfortable there at Coors Field. Yeah. It's a shame because it is such a beautiful ballpark. IBH, put this weekend in the rearview mirror and on to San Francisco. I'm with you there. I don't know what it was. To see Nola and then Suarez struggle the way they did in the early goings of the game was just really weird. Christopher Sanchez even pitched well. He started well. I don't know what to make of it. All I know is these guys getting used to pitching out there was crazy. And Cal Quantrill coming into this game, not exactly impressive by any means. But again, another guy with an ERA that is not impressive goes up there and just takes it to a Phillies lineup that coming into this series and still the best offense in all of baseball, the highest scoring offense in all of baseball. And of all places, they go to Coors Field and struggle to get runs with the exception of a 6-run ninth inning from last night. That doesn't make any sense to me. Hard to believe, Harry. I know. That kind of thing. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I can't make sense of it. I was sitting there waiting last night for something to happen, and finally something did happen in the ninth. Today, I was sitting here waiting for something to happen in this game, and nothing happened. In the fourth inning, where they were able to get that Alec Bohm RBI single to right field, you had Kyle Schwarber lead off that inning by working a walk. JT Realmuto struck out, chasing a splitter in the dirt from Quantrill that I just had. JT Realmuto is a much better hitter than that. And recently, he has been 1,000 times much better hitter than that. But he gets fooled by it. It happens. I get it. But that was bad. That was really bad, especially after you get the leadoff walk from Kyle Schwarber. Then Bryce Harper steps up there. I said he reached on a fielder's choice. I'm sorry. It was an error. So you have first and second with one out. I thought this was going to be the big inning for them. Unfortunately, Alec Bohm single was the only run they were able to get. Bryson Stott right after that grounded into a killer double play. You get one run out of it. Instead of really making something happen in that fourth inning, you unfortunately only get one run out of it with the inning-ending double play. That was almost, I thought it was going to be a seeing eye RBI single for Bryson Stott, or at least a seeing eye single that would put runners on first and third with only one out. But unfortunately, they were just able to get to it just over the bag, just over the second base bag, and they were able to turn two on it. So that was that. Then you go into the fifth inning. Castellanos chases a low slider, I think it was, or a low splitter, another one from Quantrill. He strikes out to start things off. Marsh gets the single to right field. Sosa steps up there and he grounds out to third, but Marsh is able to take second base. And I think Ruben Amaro Jr. even said it during the broadcast very simply. He just goes out there and said, this would be great for Johan Rojas' confidence to be able to get a RBI 2-out single to get something going offensively for the Phils. And what ends up happening, he ends up getting a 2-out RBI single to right field, and the Phillies making a 3-run ball game. Then Schwarber goes up there and he works a full count, puts some good wood on the baseball, but unfortunately lines out to center field. That's another instance there where I thought the Phillies were really going to get something going here. Now, Brandon Marsh is not the guy that I want to put in the crosshairs on a day like today, where he led your team in hits with 2. Brandon Marsh in today's ball game was 2 for 2 with a single, with 2 singles and a walk. He upped his batting average to 262 and a 335 on base percentage. So Brandon Marsh goes up there a little bit earlier in the game after his first hit. Actually, he did this after the first time he was on base. Third inning, he leads off with a walk. As I've said many times over the last month of the season, my feeling about this Phillies team is when the leadoff man gets on, that guy's coming around to score. And Brandon Marsh starts it off by working a walk in the third inning. Edmundo Sosa steps up there and he pops out to first. And then, with Rojas at the plate, Brandon Marsh tries to steal second base. They make a perfect throw to get him at second base. You could have had a situation there. We had a runner on second with 1 out. I understand what the Phillies were going for. Maybe not the best time, considering you were already down 5 runs. Maybe, in the third inning, instead of trying to create those opportunities, maybe be a little patient. Maybe just be a little patient. Hey, look, it was a perfect throw that got him, so it's hard to be mad, but he was out. If he stays on first base, you don't know what happens with Rojas, and then Rojas ended up flying out to center field to end that inning. But Marsh had the leadoff walk, weren't able to bring him around to score. It was a rough one. Is it nitpicking? It's nitpicking, but a couple of wrong decisions throughout the game ended up really affecting the bats, and they just never really got it going in this one, unfortunately. So those innings right there, you look at the fourth inning, you look at the fifth inning where they were just limited to one run, and then maybe an opportunity there in the third when you had Brandon Marsh lead off with the walk. And that was all the Phillies really had going on for themselves. Caracidi, by the way, the relief pitcher, the forkballer for the Rockies, did himself a hell of a job against the Phillies in this series. The forkballer was definitely fooling some guys. Stott, he got him on it. He also got Sosa later in the game in that seventh inning that he pitched as well when the Phillies were trying to get something going for themselves, and they just couldn't do it. When we come back, we'll take a look at where the Phillies are heading after this. Okay, hold on. Ryan Campbell's with me. Ryan Campbell, you're a brilliant person. Marsh's steal was bad timing. He needed base runners. His run meant nothing. I agree. Needed to put up some crooked numbers. Ryan Campbell, thank God that ball didn't drill Ranger. That was close. Yeah. I heard, I don't know if it was MLB. I don't know if it was the Rockies broadcast, but somebody retweeted it and it came up in my feed. And it was somebody jumped to the conclusion that Ranger Suarez pulled his hamstring on the play. Not my thought. My thought was, oh, Ranger's just thanking his lucky stars that ball didn't bounce off his old cranium. And the guy who was doing, I think the color analyst for the Rockies was saying, oh, I think he pulled his hamstring. What? No, rule number one, was your first game? Rule number one, you don't speculate about an injury, especially right away. Maybe after you see him walk off the field and be like, I've had that injury, but it's this, maybe at the most, but not certainly when it just happened. But Suarez had that ball lying right up, and Bryson Stott was Johnny on the spot. That was the fourth inning. Montero, yeah. Montero lines a pitch right up the middle. Second pitch of the at-bat. Right past Suarez's head, and Bryson Stott dives to make the play. So it could have been a lot different in that particular inning. He then the other thing is he comes back after that and he strikes out Goodman on 6 pitches, and then he faces Tavar and he strikes him out as well. It was a 1-2-3 inning there. His second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. I'll take it. Good Lord. Oh, man. Yeah, that was a rough one. Thank you for bringing that up. Ryan Campbell. And welcome to the chat. I don't think I've seen your comments before. Much appreciated. Yeah, awesome. All right. When we come back, we'll take a look at where the Phillies are headed after this. And we will take more of a moment and celebrate JT Realmuto for something that I just can't believe is true, but it's true. We'll be back in a second. You're Locked On Phillies postcast. Oh, you guys were talking about Supply House? Supply House, get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. That's supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. There is easy-to-use website. It's fantastic. It's packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands as well. Get your order delivered right to your door with fast and free shipping coast to coast. Fast shipping is absolutely incredible. That's fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Ooh, baby, it's fantastic. Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining supplyhouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line. They get free shipping right there and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM. That's supplyhouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. So after this, the Phillies are going to head out to face the San Francisco Giants. They'll open up a 3-game series with the Giants after sweeping the Giants in South Philadelphia May 1st through the 6th. If you remember that, excuse me, May 3rd through the 6th. They're able to sweep the Giants in that one. Now they have this 3-game series starting at 5:05 tomorrow night. Then they play them again 9:45 Tuesday night, and then 3:45 Wednesday afternoon in San Francisco. And then they come home for a 3-game series with the Cardinals, 3-game series with the Brewers, and a 2-game set with the New York Mets. That's the way that one's looking at. The New York Mets series, then they go to London. That'll be the London series, so that'll be tons of fun, I'm sure. But going for the San Francisco Giants will be Ian Snell. He'll be making – it should be Blake Snell. What am I saying? Blake Snell will maybe make that start. He's had a rough go of it in his time with the San Francisco Giants. He is 0-3 on the season with an ERA of, wait for it, 11.40. That's not a time. That's his ERA. He's coming off a start where he's actually allowed 9 runs in his last 2 starts, 16 runs in his last 3 starts. Not great. So, yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough. He went 3 1/3 against the Pirates. He allowed 4 runs on 4 hits. He also walked 4 in that start. So I guess the Phillies are looking pretty good. I guess that, getting Spencer Turnbull and not Blake Snell was the smarter move, I guess. But either way, he'll be going up against the Phillies. And the starting pitcher for the Phillies in that one will be Taijuan Walker. Taijuan Walker looking to bounce back from a little bit of a rough go of it there against the Texas Rangers, where he went 4 2/3, allowing 3 runs on 6 hits. Maybe the foot, maybe the toe was bothering him. He allowed 3 runs on 6 hits in that game. All of them were earned, did give up a home run. He also issued 4 walks in that one. But overall, Taijuan Walker is 3-0 in the season with a 5.06 ERA. He gets the start tomorrow night in San Francisco. I mentioned this already, but I'll say it again. The Braves won earlier in the day, so the Phillies are still 6 games. Now there's 6 games, from 7 to 6 games up on the Braves in the NL East. On a positive note, one happy thing to talk about. As great as it was, and as much as I celebrated Garrett Stubbs last night for helping put a little jolt into the Phillies offense there with some clutch ABs and some clutch defense and a clutch stolen base as well, JT Realmuto, seeing him, with the exception of a couple of ABs today, get that average up to now 287 with a 332 on-base percentage, and make some Phillies history with the longest hitting streak by a Phillies catcher now at 15 games, something worth celebrating. Just a few short weeks ago, I was a little concerned about where JT Realmuto was at hitting-wise. Just a few short weeks ago, you're talking about a guy that was hitting 241 on the season. That was coming out of Game 2 of that San Francisco Giants series in South Philly on May 3rd. May 3rd, he was down to 239 on the season. And ever since then, he has really started to get things going. And that's where, now over his last 15 games, he started that hitting streak. So this 15-game hitting streak has helped bring his average from 239 with a 288 on-base percentage all the way up to 287 now on the season, and then seeing him be able to hit the way he was able to hit in this series, seeing him be able to hit the way he was able to hit in today's game by at least getting you that base hit to put it right up the middle, and it was off of Mears' leg, so a little bit of luck was on side, but if Mears wasn't there, that ball probably dribbles into the outfield there for still a single. But seeing him be able to go out there and get that hit today was a great thing, and also see that that on-base percentage get up to 332 after being below 300 is a great thing for JT Realmuto. Anytime you have a starter, a regular starter, and someone who plays as much, especially as a catcher, as JT Realmuto, and you see an on-base percentage sub 300, that's scary. You can only have one of those, and that belongs to Nick Castellanos, whose on-base percentage is now dipped down to 269. Nice. On the season. So that's where we're at now with Nick Castellanos. Phillies and Giants back at it now. They'll start their series tomorrow night. I will be back at it with you wonderful people tomorrow. So don't you miss that when we have our Locked On Phillies postcast. Despite it being Memorial Day, I'll be with you guys tomorrow for the postcast as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. One more time, make sure you guys smash like. Make sure you guys smash subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. We'll be giving you all your Philadelphia sports needs right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Mark Farzetta, thanks again, everybody. Be back with you guys tomorrow following the series opener against the San Francisco Giants. See you guys then. Have a wonderful rest of your Memorial Day Sunday. See you tomorrow. Bye.